Give me 1 second to try to configure this. I'm a tiny bit of a boomer, so you got to bear with me for 1 second, my dude.
All good. I got you. If you need help with settings and stuff, I can help you.
What's? Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I honestly, I saw. Honestly, I'm not gonna be fake about it. I haven't seen anything that you've done or anything, but my moderators are telling me they were gonna plan this for me. So I don't really know what we're doing today, but they just said it's gonna be good.
Okay. So, to be complete, that's first of all, dude. I love your honesty, man. I'm super hyped about this. So let me just explain a couple of things. First of all, what do you go by?
Adin. You could just call me Adin.
Adin. Okay. So let me explain to you a little bit about what we usually do. I'm super excited. I know it sounds kind of weird. I've seen very little of your stuff. I know you have a reputation on the internet. I'm not even sure exactly what it is, but I try very hard not to watch people's content, just because anytime I have a conversation with them, I don't want to be biased by
The
a
content you see.
character on a screen.
Yeah.
So let me explain to you what we do. I'm a psychiatrist, but one thing that it's important for you to understand is that this is not therapy. So I'm not going to be diagnosing you, treating you, prescribing you any medications. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So what I try to do with people, I started streaming to have conversations with people just to understand a little bit about what their life is like. That's basically it. Sometimes we'll talk about stuff, which is totally cool. Like sometimes we can talk about particular topics that may be interesting to you or interesting to me. But generally speaking, we're here because I believe that the internet is a judgmental space, and that having a conversation with a human being can help us learn more about each other and learn more about ourselves. Sometimes, and I'm happy to go into more of my background if you want, people have questions about something related to science, health, or mental health. And while I don't provide medical advice, like, for example, I think you have Crohn's disease and you should start on a biologic agent, I won't do that. I'm happy to guide people based on my varied experience and the kind of work that I've done if people are interested in learning about things. And that's reciprocal. So if you want to teach me about stuff too, and it's kind of where the conversation goes, like, that's totally fine.
Okay. Cool.
How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds great, man. It sounds great. Everything you're saying it's perfect. It's music to my ears. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome, dude. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Adin. A lot of people that don't know me, they call me Adin Ross. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that is my name, but I like to just be called Adin. I'm a streamer. I've been streaming for a few years now. I've been streaming for, I would say, honestly, 4 years, coming up on 5. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I enjoy streaming. I used to enjoy it way more when my hunger was more, you know what I'm saying, was when I was more hungry. But now I feel like I've really kind of not beat the streaming game, but kind of like accomplished my goals that I set beforehand. So now it's harder for me to kind of make and appreciate streaming more sometimes. But lately I've been doing some new stuff. Like I've been switching it up and I've actually been enjoying it lately, as of like this month particularly. So, you know, it's been really good.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about how'd you become a streamer, man?
So I've always kind of like played video games, and throughout my whole life, like everyone I used to like kind of be buddies with back in the day when I used to play like games. Like I used to play, my first game I ever streamed was NBA 2K14, but I had like no viewers, but I just streamed it because, which was like when I was 13 years old. I would just stream it because like I was 13, like literally just cursing and just playing and stuff like that, and just kind of like making content. And my boy was like, you'd actually be like a really good streamer. And I would like see other streamers that I would watch, and I'd be like, all right, you know, I'm gonna get ahead of the game. And I did it, and I have ADHD, man. I just move a lot. I speak a lot. My mind is just not normal, I feel like sometimes. And I don't know, I just really, really like got into it from having like passion for NBA 2K, and then just talking a lot and while I'm playing and stuff and entertaining.
Okay, so it sounds like you liked NBA 2K a lot. So you started streaming when you were like 13?
Yeah, but I got no viewers, and I quit for like 3-4 years, and then I started up again like when I was like 17, 18-ish.
And so if you've been streaming for 4 or 5 years, that means you're like 22, 23?
I'm 22. Yeah, I'm about to be 23 in October.
Okay. And so second time around, what kind of got you into it?
Second time around, I was a senior in high school, and I like knew that like I didn't want to go to college, man. Like I had family members like tell me like, you're gonna be homeless, you're gonna be like, if you don't go to college, like, you don't become a lawyer, and you, like, they want me to become like a lawyer, or like something that was like suit and tie, super professional, classy. And I just knew it wasn't for me. Like, I was just always different. I was always like super to myself in school. I just never really wanted to do what everyone wanted me to do. I always wanted to go like around the, like, I always wanted to do the opposite. Like, if a human being in my life that wasn't my father, my mother, told me to do something, I just want to do the opposite of it. Just to be like, haha, like you told me that shit, and I did the opposite just because I could do it.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you really like had a lot of. It sounds like family members were almost like trying to scare you into going to college.
I got a lot of pressure because I come from a family that nobody ever went to school. Like, the only people that have been through I have sisters. The only person that was in school was my one aunt, and then my mom. Like, my dad didn't even go to college. Like, it's like nobody in my whole family went to college. Like, nobody. So
If they never went to college, why would they pressure you so much into going to college?
Because at the point of my life when I was a senior, about to like make what I wanted to do, we weren't really financially stable. There was a lot of problems in my home. So like, they were just like, well, if you go to college, you'll have a good head on your shoulders and stuff. And I think it'll be different because you'll be switching up like the family tradition type of thing, you know?
Wow. So it sounds like things were a little bit rough, and they sounds like they were recommending stuff based on what they thought was good for you.
My senior year, it was really hard for my family. I was super skinny. I didn't eat every night. People think that like I had it very easy my whole life. We were financially stable, medium class, up until about senior year. It got really hard for us. And you know, I would go literally some nights without eating dinner. Like, I would just have like a bag of chips for dinner and stuff.
And why is that?
Because there was a point in time where something happened where everyone in my family, my mom didn't work. She does yoga and stuff. Like, she's like an instructor now. She does like yoga for fun.
Wow.
I retired my mom like a couple years ago. But she just does yoga instructing for fun.
I'm sorry, what does that mean? You retired your mom a couple of years ago?
Like, she would work with like mentally disabled people and like help them out, like people with like autism and like Down syndrome and bipolar. She would like help them and stuff, and like basically be like,
wow,
not a nurse, but kind of just like somebody who would just like be really like an aide basically.
Yeah.
So I retired my mom from doing that, and she just does yoga for fun because it's like she's like very into namaste, like peaceful stuff and stuff. So she's super at peace and spiritual. But what I mean by retiring her is I just basically like was like, hey, mom, dad, you guys never have to worry about money ever again. Like, you guys are good. I got them a house. I paid it off, everything. Got them cars. So that's what I meant by retiring. Yeah.
That's impressive, man.
Yeah, that's the best feeling I've ever, out of everything I've ever done in my career, out of anything I've ever spent, that's the best thing I think anyone could ever say, especially me. Like that, anybody that's in a position like I am, I pray that you guys all get in this position where you can retire your parents. It's the best feeling in the world. There's nothing like it.
Sounds like you're a good son, Adin.
I try to be.
Maybe if we get to know each other a little bit better, we can hear about some of your less good things that you do as being a son. But
yeah.
So wow. So that sounds like you were kind of very self-driven. Can you help me understand a little bit about this kind of like, if someone tells you that you shouldn't do something, you kind of like, you're like, screw you, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Well, my mind has always been different. Like, I'm telling you, when I was like 5 years old, I've always grew up different. When I was 5 or 6 in first grade, I was wearing pull-ups still. I was wearing diapers because I was a late bloomer to where I was peeing and wetting the bed until I was like 6 or 7 years old. And I've always seemed to be rebellious, and I've always seemed to be doing things that like it late and just what other kids weren't doing. I would have weird tics growing up. I was just super like, I wouldn't say I was like socially awkward. I was very social. I made a lot of friends. I moved around a lot. I moved to like 4 different towns, kind of 3 different towns, like making new friends. I've always been very social. I've always fit in with people and stuff. I've never had a hard time doing that, but I would just say growing up, listening to people, I guess you could say rebellious in a way, not in a bad way, just in a way if somebody was like, hey, Adin, do that and this, I would do it my own way. Like, if I'd like to just figure it out on my own. Like, for example, I had to learn this a lot, but I've had many things in my life where I've messed up, where people are like, Adin, like, don't do this. Like, Aiden, don't jump on the table, for example. But I would have to do it to learn the consequence. I would just like to see what would happen. I would want to see it. People in life that can catch it, and like if like for example, doctor, if you were like, Aiden, if you jump on that table, you're gonna get hurt. I think those people that can actually just listen and just not do it, those are lucky people. There's a lot of people that are that genuinely like they have to actually go through it, figure it out for themselves. And I was one of those kids that just like wanted to just know what it was like.
So I'm sort of hearing that not necessarily that you were like rebellious, but that you just needed to learn things for yourself.
Yeah, but again, like I just think it's not fair. I get it. I get why, but I just think it's not fair for family members, anybody to be pressuring their children to be doing something. Like I think college is extremely outdated. For example, I'm not bashing college. I think college is necessary for a lot of people. I think if you know what you want to do, if I know I want what I'm passionate about, if I want to be a lawyer, a doctor, if I want to do something, I think college is worth it for me if I know what I'm doing. If people are going into college without any train of thought of what they want to do, for example, if I'm like I want a career in business, go to college for business. If you don't know what it is yet, just go to college for business. If you know you want to major in business, but if you don't know what you want to do, what's the point? That's my opinion. I recommend try finding a way to make money, stack up, you know what I mean, and figure it out then. I just think being pressured and forced into doing that, and that's what I had my senior year. Like I was already being told by my family members, you need to be an accountant. You know what I mean? You need to be an accountant. You need to be a lawyer. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't even know what I want to do. It's my life, you know? And I'm at an age where I just want to know. I'm at an age where I just want to, I want to figure it out my own. When I was 18, I just wanted to figure it out my own.
Yeah. And so what's it like to be under that pressure?
I think I felt a lot of pressure because at this point, my sisters weren't really doing anything. No offense to them. I love them. They're doing their own things now. But I just think I was really going through it because I feel like everything was crumbling in my family. Nobody was really, you know what I'm saying, doing anything.
That's scary, man.
Yeah, and I just felt like I was, in a way, the golden child. I had to resurrect and help my parents out and find a way. So I just, yeah.
So I'm almost hearing that like the pressure you were under was not just about your own life. It's sort of like they were putting all their eggs in your basket.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say like I was kind of like, I felt pressure from everybody because I had to succeed, and if I didn't succeed, then I was gonna feel like a failure probably. Like I don't know, and honestly, I still have this pressure to this day. I know we're gonna get into that later, but the pressure it's never went away. I've had it ever since I was a senior. For real.
What do you mean we're going to get into that later? Help me understand that.
Well, we're starting. We're talking right now about like before all this, which is good, and I want to stem this for a little bit. If you have any more topics or questions to talk about, because I'm saying I still have this pressure to this day.
Okay.
Of like basically like carrying my family tree, if that makes sense. It's weird. I'll get into it. I don't mean it in any type of like egotistical way or anything like that, but
No, I'm not getting any ego from you.
Okay, just making sure.
You want to talk about it now?
No, I'm saying like, was there not? Because I know we're talking about like the beginning, like before all this. Like, do you want to skip right into that? I don't care. I don't care what we do. But
I mean, I have like 1,000 questions for you, but sure, maybe we can get into it a little bit later.
Okay.
So you mentioned that you were hungry. So you said a couple times that your mind has always been different. Like, what else have you noticed?
Every single trauma I've ever had in my life, I've always put it away and stored it, and I never dealt with it. Like I've only cried a few times in my life. I've cried before, and sometimes it hits me. But like I used to cry a lot when I was a kid. But like every time I have trauma, I put it in my back of my brain. I'm very desensitized. My brain is very desensitized. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just like, how do I put this? My brain works really weird. Like I don't feel feelings sometimes because I'm not soulless. I have a soul, and whenever I like disconnect myself, I feel things, and I can feel love, and I can feel passion, I can feel stuff. But sometimes
whenever you disconnect yourself, you feel things.
Disconnect from the internet mainly. Like go basically like go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Get away from all of this.
Get away from everything. Take a little break. Go travel somewhere without having to work. Take time off of streaming. It really helps me find myself again. Connect myself to reality. Where was I? Sorry. Oh, the desensitization of my brain. That's my biggest issue I have today. It's like it's super hard for me to sometimes feel things and just kind of like I don't know. It's almost like I'm emotionless, and like I feel like I beat the game.
What do you mean by beat the game?
Like
What's the game?
when I was coming in to like, entering the streaming game, I had goals in the back of my head. And the goals in the back of my head were set your parents up for life, put some money in your bank account, meet some of your heroes and idols, and you did it. And the excitement and hunger I had when conquering this, like the grind part, the grind aspect, was honestly, I couldn't realize it, but when I was grinding, that was like the peak feeling of me when I was accomplishing all this stuff. I've talked to a lot of the people that I've looked up to throughout my life, and I've met them and I've had conversations with them, and I got this and I got that and I did that and I did this, and I just feel like I've kind of already conquered a lot of the things, like at a really young age.
Sure. And what does it feel like to conquer things at a young age?
Like I beat the game.
And how does that feel?
I don't know. I honestly, man, it's fucked up, because honestly, like, that's what drives me crazy sometimes. Like, what do I do now? Like, what do I do? You know what I mean?
Sure. And I'm hearing that you really almost enjoyed grinding.
Of course, when I was in the grind and I had a hunger and I was boom, bam, boom, getting all my goals and results and stuff, it's like, that shit was everything to me. Like, that was, you could see the hunger. The hunger right now that I had I'm sorry, I'll never have that hunger again. It's true. I don't believe
That's
I
scary.
will. Well, I don't believe I will. I wish I would, but I don't think that hunger exists anymore. Like, I'm hungry in other ways. Like, now, sometimes when I want to make like amazing content, like I want to do new things, I just think about my community and what got me here today. Like, my community has been here through the shitty moments, the good content, the bad content. It's like, now all I care about is just doing shit for them, my core. I don't care about anything else but my core. I want to make good content for my core, because my core has been here through everything for me.
So it sounds like you had some goals that were, and let me know if this word rubs you the wrong way, a little bit more selfish before.
Definitely. No. My main set goal was to just get rich, take care of my family, and have some money to put aside for me, and that was it. I would say my goal was never selfish. Like, once my first purchase was a Lamborghini at 19, I think. But like, you're right. I guess you are right. My first goal, I would say was selfish in the beginning.
Yeah, and I was thinking about a better word, because I think it's like okay to have selfish goals, like it's okay to want stuff from life.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it to be derogatory, and that's why I was like, I just couldn't find a better word.
I think. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, go for it.
I think when you're in grind mode, like anyone that's grinding towards something, like, I don't really know too much about you, but like, when you're grinding for, like, let's just say you went to Harvard, right?
Sure.
When you were grinding to get to Harvard, when I was grinding to become a streamer, you kind of have to be selfish, because like, let's just say like in a way, like, you're grinding in a selfish way, like, where you have to just do you, basically, before you can really aid and take care of others. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of have to.
I think that's a very, very reasonable way to look at things. Interestingly enough, I would say in my case, it was sort of the opposite. There was a time in my life where I was grinding to get into Harvard and I was nowhere near. And then there was a time in my life where I gave that up and wasn't interested in being the best or accomplishing anything, really. And paradoxically, that's what ended up getting me there. But, I think that what you're saying makes perfect sense. And so I'm kind of curious, like, when you were grinding and accomplishing stuff, it sounds like you got a Lamborghini at the age of 19, which is like, that's rare, man.
It's like below one, it's like what, like point something % of just doing that. There's people that don't even have fucking houses and food, bro. And I'm over here buying a Lamborghini at 19 years old. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like super desensitizing.
What's desensitizing about it?
I think in general, at 19, having a load of money and not knowing what to do with it, never being taught what to do with money, never being taught how to use it, how to utilize it. And I'm 19, I buy a Lamborghini. It's like it doesn't make sense. I don't even have a house yet. I don't even have my parents aren't even good yet. I just think it's super desensitizing making money to buy a Lamborghini at 19. I just think having a lot of money with not knowing what to do with it at 19 is crazy. You know what I mean?
So I think there's something really, that sounds like an important discovery, but I don't understand it. So how does buying a Lamborghini at 19, how does that connect to desensitizing? Can you help me understand that? I think you're onto something. I just don't.
Yeah. I think what I'm trying to say is like, maybe it's the wrong word I'm using. Like,
I don't think so, man.
Well,
Well,
it's desensitizing buying a Lamborghini at 19 in general because it's like, you're not, I don't know, I just feel like not every 19-year-old's doing that. You get what I'm
Sure.
saying? So when you come into that, like that little like, I don't know, like when you come in and you go buy a Lamborghini at 19 without having houses and all these things and stuff, it's like, I never knew how to manage money. Like I never knew how to like do that. And right now, if I go back at 19, I had the funds I had, I would tell myself, don't buy a Lamborghini right now.
and then what would you have done if you told yourself? If Aiden Ross from the future showed up to 19-year-old Aiden Ross and was like, bruh, don't buy a Lambo, what would 19-year-old Aiden Ross have done?
I think I would have literally said, give it to your parents because they know what to do. You know what I mean?
That's what the older you would have said. What would the younger you have done?
Oh, you're saying younger than now?
No. So like if you were 19, right? Let's say you could travel back in time.
Okay.
And you could talk to your 19-year-old self. And 22-year-old Aiden was like, don't buy a Lambo, give it to your parents. What would 19-year-old you have done?
Fuck you, I'm buying a Lamborghini.
Okay. Right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so when you say desensitized, maybe I can offer something and let me know. So I'm getting the sense that when you're grinding, you feel really good, right? Because you're putting in effort and then you're seeing those numbers or whatever those metrics are. And then after you get it, there's like, you feel nothing?
Not nothing. So I'll explain it. When you're grinding towards something, you get a high. After I would do a viral stream or a viral moment, I would get high off of it. It would give me some type of like release of chemicals in my brain to make me like, okay, keep going. This is amazing. I love the attention, the what I'm gaining from this. I love the money. I love the dopamine release. I love it. I want more of it. I want to keep, what's next? How do I go viral again? How do I do it again? How do I go again? How do I gain more followers? How do I gain out of this? The clout, it's an addiction. It's addicting. It's a drug. Because when you keep gaining and gaining and gaining, it's a high, you know? So I wouldn't say I feel nothing now. I just don't care anymore. Like I don't care as much as I did before. Like if I was stuck on a very, very small core community that just loves me and cares for me and will watch me do anything, and I don't really care about the crazy numbers anymore. I don't really care about doing crazy viral stuff anymore. Like I just don't. Like I care to make good content, but like the crazy viral moments and stuff that I was doing back in the day, I don't need to put myself in that position anymore.
What's changed?
I would say growing up a little more, going through a lot, doing a lot. I would say having more money now. I would just say, honestly, yeah, I would just say more experience in this shit as well.
And in what ways have you grown up, Aiden?
Experience. I think I'm not 100% mature yet. I still have a lot to learn. I'm still super young and I make dumb decisions all the time. I don't know, man. I think I still got a lot more growing up to do, but I think I'm in a better place now than I was when I was back at 21, 20, you know?
How were you different 1 or 2 years ago? What was the place you were in?
Less money, different living situation. You know, I would say less, just less experience in general in my career as well. Different people around me got, you know, I don't really speak with anymore. Go ahead. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
So no, it's totally cool, dude. I was just kind of, so I'm a little bit confused because like on the one hand, I'm sort of hearing that back in the day when your head was in the game, you felt good. You're grinding, you're getting that dopamine rush. You use the word addiction, which is, I mean, that's a powerful word, man. And at the same time, it sounds like you felt really good.
Definitely.
And I'm sort of almost hearing you kind of say that you're in a better place now, but you like don't feel as good in some way. Like, does that kind of make sense? I'm sort of
it
hearing
does. I
don't
feel fulfillment and high anymore after having a viral moment. Does that make sense? Like if I see a viral moment or viral clip now, I'll just laugh about it and scroll right past it. I don't care anymore as I would care back in 2021. I would be super, super like, oh my God, I gotta do more of this. I gotta do that, I gotta do this. I just don't really care for it anymore.
Which one do you prefer, the way you are now or the way you used to be?
Now, all about pleasing a core that cares about me than a trendy audience that doesn't really give two shits about me, for sure.
Okay. And is being fulfilled and being high the same thing?
What do you mean?
So you said like you don't get the sense of fulfillment, you don't feel as high anymore. I don't mean like drugs. I mean like what you're talking about.
I feel at peace. I feel I'm cool with what I have. I feel comfortable. I feel good.
You feel at peace now?
At peace because back when I was in that 2021 mode, I was nervous and horribly going like mentally destroyed because I would always have to think about what I got to do the next day to go viral. Otherwise, I'm gonna fall off. You know what I'm saying? Like I was on a mission still, trying to grind and trying to figure things out and try to just going down this little upscale of a blow up, you know?
So I'm kind of hearing that like it's quite a roller coaster, dude. So
yeah.
On the one hand, there's like the thrills and it's like, hell yeah, you feel that energy. What's next, baby? But at the same time, maybe there's like anxiety, like maybe I can't do it, like,
yeah,
doubt.
Literally, yes. Self-doubt, just a lot of like overthinking, man. Just like straight up, just
What do you mean by overthinking?
I just thought if I didn't top this stream, I was gonna fall off and everyone would leave me. And I just thought like if I didn't do this right, or if I didn't figure out a way to do this stream better and figure it out, then my whole community was gonna leave me. I really did. I thought everyone would leave.
And what? So you mentioned that like who you hang out with or something has changed. What's happened to your community, your connections?
I had a different living arrangement. Back when my name in 2020 when I was first blowing up, a lot of people would hit me up. I had a lot of fake people in my life at that time. I had a lot of people who were just straight up just not. I had a lot of people in my life that weren't there. Like my living arrangement was there. I was in a whole content house. Okay, I was in a house full of people who do content creation as well on the internet, and it was a different environment. I was living in work, if that makes sense. Like I was living. Sure. Yeah. I would wake up to a messy ass room to a stream I did the day before, and I would, you know what I'm saying? Like I would wake up to that. Like if I was in my streaming room the other day, and I completely broke. Like this one stream I did, I broke like this concrete stuff with a hammer, I slept in that. Like I was sleeping in work, so my living arrangement in general was just completely different. Like it was just I was living in work. I felt too much work.
And how are you living now?
Happier for sure. I now don't live in work. If I want to take a day off and lay in bed and watch TV and just take one thing at a time and not live in work and go outside, and it's a lot better. I do.
What's it like? Yeah.
I do sometimes get lonely though. I'm not gonna lie. But what you writing down there, doctor?
I mean, I've written a ton of shit. Why are you so focused on what I'm writing now?
I'm just kidding. I know. I know you've been writing.
I don't think you're kidding.
Well, no, I'm saying like I know you've been writing this whole time. Like I don't really care what you've been writing. I mean, I know you're just taking notes.
Is there something about? Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've been asking you. It's kind of silly. So what I'm signaling to you is I think. What was it like to say you get lonely sometimes?
I've always lived with work, so I've always had people around. And now that I live alone, it's different because now I live alone. I don't live with family. I don't live with parents. I used to have a girlfriend, excuse me, I used to live with her. I don't live with her. Obviously, we broke up. I live alone, right? So it's like, for me, it's like, it's different. You know, I get lonely sometimes.
Sounds lonely.
Yeah, it is. But I have friends, and I have, my parents close by and stuff. So it is what it is.
Can I think for a second?
Think.